All right, so I would like to welcome everyone to this session of our program overview. We would make effort as much as possible not to take so much of your time. In this session, we'll be looking at a couple of things. I'm still focused on the Agile project management portfolio. And we'll be looking at two roles in it. The roles of the Scrum Master and the Product Owner. Permit me to share my screen in one moment, please. One moment. Okay. So please you let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen, please? All right, beautiful. So we would be talking about the structure of organizations and how you could fit in as a product owner and a Scrum Master. And we'll narrow down more to discuss on, let's extract a bit about yourselves, where you are today and where you would like to be. We'll talk about organizations and how they are structured and how they have all embraced the agile ways of working. Then from there, we'll discuss quickly on where you are and how you can fit in. Then, of course, we'll listen to some of our trainers or individuals we've supported, and you'll hear from them how this program is all about. We'll also talk about what you stand to gain. And then we'll talk about where you could go from here. After which, we'll take as many questions as we have available for this session. So again, you are all welcome. Please just sit back, relax, and enjoy as we bring this information to you. One of our facilitators also for this session is one of our highly referenced trainer and coach, is in person of Dr. Lani Ogunbite. He's a Scrum Master, a Product Owner, a DevOps engineer. He calls himself a junior DevOps engineer now. And he wears so many caps. So he would be facilitating this conversation with me. You'll be able to ask as many questions you want to ask him directly, and we'll make all the effort to answer all your questions. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Doctor.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So, where are you now? Where will you want to be? Now, I want to quickly let you know this. I can remember those days when I entered into the UK. Yeah, I've been in Agile space even before I entered into the UK. And, when I entered into the UK, and the story was, the only thing you can get within the UK is care or security, or factory, all those stuff. That was what I was told. People discouraging me. But for me personally, not like the coach, because the coach didn't subscribe to the idea. To me, I was like, okay, to keep body and soul together, let me start with the care of a team. But I know that is not where I'm going. I've been in the university lecturing, from university to industry. Oh my God. Am I freezing again?
Yes.
Oh my God. What is this today? So, oh my God. I can't, from the video.
But you're back now.
Jesus Christ. please, if you can give me just 2 minutes, let me just
Okay.
let me reboot my network, please. Just 2 minutes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. While you're doing that, let me just carry on with the conversation. Let's open the conversation up on what we have on the screen. When we came into the UK, just as Dr. mentioned, it was a personal thing for me that I wasn't going to do the care, but just like every other person, I was doing the factory jobs. And one thing that I could say is that it was backbreaking. And I did that for a couple of months. And I remember every time I got back home, it was a wasted night or day for me. I ran 12-hour shifts. And so if I go for a 12-hour shift, I will come back home, then I'll need to sleep it off. And that was really, really tedious. So one of the questions that I would like to ask, because while I was in that factory, I was privileged to meet another Nigerian. Of course, there were other Nigerians there working too. And one of the other fellow Nigerians that I met, I've been working in the factory for about 9 years. And I wondered how someone could stay that long. So if we ask ourselves today, whatsoever we are doing now, especially to those in the UK, can we see ourselves do same job for a very long time? Can you see yourself in the care industry as a support worker or mental health worker for another 10, 20 years? Again, every time I need to make reference to the health industry, I always add that I have no personal issue with the health industry. Or could you see yourself in the other jobs, the factory jobs, working in Amazon? Could you sustain it for another 5 years? That is the question we should ask ourselves. From where we're coming from back in Nigeria, a couple of times when I engage with some light-skinned persons, I make it clear to them that for every Nigerian you see in the UK, we spent a fortune to come here. A family of 4 would have spent between 20 to 25 million naira to settle in. So from where we're coming from, we mostly, if not everyone, would have been okay. So here now, we are doing those jobs. How long can we continue with those jobs? Are there alternatives that we can have? Information is key. So that are the questions that we are pushing to ourselves today. And are you satisfied with what you're doing? Possibly, if you are satisfied, if you're okay with what you're doing, this conversation is not really for you. I tell you straight on, it's not for you. I just made mention of an individual that worked in a factory for about 9 years. And again, if you are satisfied with what you're doing today, what is the career progression for you? Will you be satisfied with it also tomorrow? So those are the questions you need to ask yourselves. And I tell people, when we say, there was this notion, one of the notions we had back from Nigeria, and when we came into the UK, and when we communicate with our people, is to say, for every pound you make in the UK, you have worked tirelessly for it. You have worked very hard for it. That before quote unquote, a white man will give you £1, you'd have walked your bones out. I tell you, that may not be true in all the spheres. So this land is a land of information. It is whatsoever information you have that will determine what you could take out from it. While I'm still waiting for Doctor to come back in, or is it back in? It's not back in. Let me go ahead with the presentation so we don't need to keep everyone waiting. So, having started with that, let's look at how organizations are today. Every major organization in the UK and the rest of the world today, there's what we call agile ways of working. And over 70% of those organizations have gone agile. What do I mean by agile? Agile could be said as the new ways of working, because before now, developments are done without the need to engage with the stakeholders so much. Organizations preempt what end users want, and they tend to provide what the end users want without putting them in the center of it. But that has changed. Organizations now develop directly what end users want. If we look back home again, when we look at the government of Nigeria, over the years, they preempt what the people want. You see a youth leader that is over 60 years old. So the core youth may not be included in that decision making. But organizations these days, they've moved far away from that, and they now develop the center. They've made customers the center of what they develop. And that has gone to also inform and adjusted what structure the organizations have. Doctor, you're back, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so will you continue from there, because I need to run after those coming in and then ensure they.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, over to you.
No worries. I'm sorry, I may not be able to on my camera. It seems my network is crazy today. I don't know why. I've rebooted the what was it called? So, but it's not. It seems it's still freezing somehow.
It's all right.
So yeah, thank you very much. I'm sorry everyone for for the interruption. So talking about the organization, how organizations are structured these days, I think the last statement that the Agile coach mentioned is that now organizations are now finding a way to satisfy the customer, making the customer happy. And how do we now do that? So organizations are now like, okay, if I want to make customers happy, a client happy, how am I going to do it? Then the client needs to be involved. For example, before, let's say I give Coach Arno, I give it a contract to help me to build a house, and okay, this house, it will take me 1 year, 6 months for me to complete the whole house. I said, how much is it going to cost me? I said, it's going to cost you £5,000, £50,000, £100,000, or whatever. I said, okay, no problem. After negotiation, then I pay in advance, maybe pay 50% of the whole money of the charges. Then that is it. After 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, I'll be expecting Arno to at least let me know how far he has gone with the work. But at the end, maybe after they have done the needed, let's say it's a duplex apartment, and after they've done the needed and it's about to be roofed, and like, oh, I'm like, okay, Ola, come and see how far I've gone. So I need another 20% to make it 70% so that I can do the roofing and all those stuff. But getting there as a customer, I'm like, oh no, this is not what I want. This is not the way I want it. The door is not supposed to be here. I want the room to be bigger than this and all those stuff. So, and at the end, Anu will tell me that, oh, sorry, because we've spent a whole lot of money. And if you want us to make this adjustment, then you need to pay extra money. At the end, because that is what I want, I may not have choice than to pay that extra money. Now, despite I'm not happy, I have to pay extra money just to make sure that Anu gave me the right thing that I wanted. And at the end, maybe after roofing, Anu still went ahead to do the roofing that I don't want or blah blah. The color I don't want, I don't prefer. I don't have choice. I just have to accept it that way and let it be. Forget about everything. But one thing that is very sure is that I'm not going back to Anu again. So meaning that Anu has lost to one customer. I will never recommend any other customer. So now companies have identified this. They want their customer to be happy, so that if a customer is happy with me, definitely he will come back to me again. He will definitely refer someone to me again. And now to technology space now. Things keeps changing every day. As a matter of fact, a company can say, okay, we want this application to do, for example, in my own organization, we use an application called Arena. And now we discover that Arena is not giving us that value that we want again. So we want to upgrade. So things keep changing every day. You may say you want this application today. Before you know it, in the next 2 weeks, another technology will come out, and I need my contractor to immediately change. So I come back to Anu. Anu, there is new style of building now. I want you to stop the one you are doing, change to this one, do it this way, and Anu, as a contractor, will be able to adjust and do that thing that I want, do it for me and make me happy. And that is what Agile is all about. And now for organizations to achieve this, they need some people to help them to achieve this. They need somebody that will be acting as the customer's mouth. And that is product owner. When we are in for example, if you are using Scrum or Kanban, that is the product owner. Is the one representing the customer, is the mouthpiece, is the eyes of the customer, is the mouth of the customer. He knows exactly what the customer wants and is able to, to speak directly to the developers. Developers, this is the way the customer wants it, and that is the way we want you to build it. And if there is any changes, he is the one to go back to the customer, to the developers, do it this way. The customer doesn't want it this way. We want you to do it this way again, And we need a person that will facilitate all these changes, that will help the team. It is somehow frustrating sometimes when the customer comes tell you that I don't want this again, I want it this way. The team may be like, what is this? After we've spent some time and all those stuff. So the team also need someone that can facilitate the whole event, that can help the team, that can gel up the morale of the team, make the team to do the right thing, make sure that the team also is customer centered. They pay attention to delivering value to the customer. So, and that is where the role of Scrum Master and Product Owner. We have other roles, like Anu mentioned the other time. We have Agile Delivery Lead, we have Agile Performance, we have Change Manager, and all those stuff. We have a whole lot of roles under these two major roles. So these are the two major roles, Product Owner and Scrum Master. So under these two roles, for example, a Product Owner can act as a business analyst, as a product manager, and so on and so forth, So, and like Scrum Master, you can be a Scrum Master, Agile coach, what's it called, delivery manager, Agile delivery manager, Agile performance lead, and so on and so forth. So we have many other roles that are associated with these two major roles. Please to the next slide. So where and how can I fit in? So the roles Now, product owner, are you the kind of person that likes to, you know, talk about value? If you are the kind that likes to relate with customer, get what they want, and tell people, I know many of these things are the things you guys have been doing. You've been a manager, you've been head of a team, and you've been telling people, oh, do this, this is how you need to do it. Even if you have never been a manager before, for those that are men here, you know, you do tell your children, do this, even you that are women. For example, I do remember I used to tell me that he has a Kanban. You can see a Kanban board behind the Anu there. If you check that Kanban board, you will discover you see his son name, his wife's name, as the product owner. He is the scrum master of the house. So they use Kanban in their family, and it's working for them. Sincerely, I was surprised the day I went there and I saw the Kanban board and I was looking at the names of the children and how they perform their duty, everything. So even in the family, you as a woman, you can, you know, you are a product owner. You are the one making things to work. And the Scrum Master is the one to ensure that what the customer requested for is being actioned, you know. So if you are the kind of that person, then you can go for the role like product owner, product manager, business analyst, and you know, all those stuff. Then if you are the one, like the father figure in the family, you know, that likes to ensure that rules, customer, anything that has to do with the customer is being action is being, you know, followed to the letter. So that is for you, Scrum Master, product owner. We also have, like I mentioned, we have other roles like Agile Delivery Lead, Agile Performance Lead, Agile Project Manager, and so on and so forth. For product owner as well, we have many other roles under there. Then the pay grades. This one, you know, I was telling you a story when I came into the UK and people were telling me that forget it, you can't get a job, you know, that the job you can get here is here or wherever. And I told them, I as a person, I will definitely get a professional job. And when I got my first job, and I told the lady that we were working together, I told in Nigeria, I told her, I said, I've gotten a job. Said, oh, so how much are they paying you? I said 65,000. Said 65,000. Said, yeah, it's a lie. I said, okay. Then after a month, I got another job, making 2 jobs. And I told her my monthly salary. I told her, I said, I'm earning 11,200 something plus in a month. She said, no, Ola, you are doing ritual money. Tell me, you are doing all this, your computer stuff. It's a scam. You are doing scam. You are a scammer. Tell me, it's not possible. You can't get such money in the UK. I said, okay. I said, I won't show you my pay slip, but that is the amount I'm earning in a month. You know, and before I know it, you know, the likes of Arno got job. We were working together in the same company because he was also a Scrum Master, Agile coach from Nigeria, even before, because we were working for a company in the US. And we were in Nigeria then. So coming to the UK, we want something within the UK, and you know, everybody was like, oh, it's not possible, it's not possible, it's not possible. And before we know it, we can count number of people that we have trained. They, as a matter of fact, some of them worked in the same organization that we've worked before. I don't need to mention the name of the organization. It's a popular organization. As a matter of fact, if you see search for Scrum Master role today, if not number 1 or number 2, you will see their name there. They are searching for Scrum Master every day, almost every month. Somebody called me today and said, Doctor, that's your former organization. They are still advertising for Scrum Master. I said, yes, they will continue to advertise for Scrum Master because the organization is big and they are still passing through transformation stage. So they need people that can help them to ensure that what they are developing is exactly what the customer wants. So, you know, the pay is crazy. You see people, I could remember there was a time in one job, in just only one job, the likes of Arno, I'm sorry for mentioning your name, earning like 75,000 grand, it's not for just one job. And I can remember I was doing 2, 3 jobs then.
Let
And
me
that
turn
is,
off my camera.
you said what?
Let me turn off my camera. This one that you are making me different.
So, and just for one job and then doing 2, 3 jobs, and that is one of the beauty of this job. You can be doing 2, 3 jobs. Like the guy, one of our guys that we trained here, Gabriel, he called me this morning and he told me that, doctor, I'm looking for another role. I said, why? What's wrong with your former? He said, the money is not enough for me again. I said, 65,000 is not enough for you again. He said, yes. I said, you said you cannot live here. So, and that is it. And let's talk about the benefits. When it comes to the benefits, the beauty of it is that, okay, for example, in my own organization, they call it hybrid. That is, I need to be coming to office twice a week. But from January to date, I've only been to the office, I think, twice. Once in January, and the second time was June. And even the one that I went to in June, I was the one that initiated it. I said, oh, my team, please, let's meet face to face. It has been a while. I've not seen many of you, So you can be at you work from the comfort of your home. Nobody is running after you. Nobody is disturbing you. And unlike Care, that's one small boy that didn't go to secondary school, he become, what's it called, senior carer. I'll be telling you, do this, do this, do this, do this. And they respect you because they know that you are giving them your intellectual property. You are delivering value to them. Without you, all the process can just, be messed up. And that is why they need you. They need the likes of you. They will always need product owner. In as much there is a project to work on, they will always need product owner. They will always need Scrum Master. They will always need an agilist to be in the team. So you sit at the comfort of your home, you work from home. And for example, there are days that I will come after my early morning meetings, I just carry my bag, go to the park, and just be playing there, especially during this holiday.
Doctor, are you gone again?
I'm not gone. I'm still.
Sorry, everyone. We need to bear with Doctor this evening.
I'm really, really sorry, please. It's really frustrating.
I'm going to touch you, Doctor.
I'm sorry. So now, you see, you wake up after your early morning meeting, you can go to the market, you can go to park, you can go to the beach and enjoy your life. And nobody will disturb you, sincerely. Nobody will disturb you. In as much you are delivering that value, that benefit is there. And sometimes, unlike, I could remember then, when I first entered and I was still looking for Scrum job, 12 hours straight, you'll be moving up and down in the care home. It's really, really crazy. But here, we will be in the middle of an important meeting. I'll just say, oh, sorry, I have shifting to do. And they know, because it's a professional job, you can just tell them, I'm sorry, I need to leave this meeting. And nobody will report you. Nobody will hold you back. You just stand up and you leave. They will understand. But you dare not do that in factory. You dare not do that in care home. And that is one of the reasons why you should look into these professional roles. So roles you can fit into, like I mentioned, I don't think I need to talk much about this one. I've mentioned it earlier. So think of what you think you are capable of doing. Are you the kind of person that can speak with the customer? And when we're talking about the customer, doesn't mean external customer. It can be internal customer. Like my own company now, when we're talking about our customer, it's actually internal customers. So those people that are making use of some of the application softwares that my development teams, because I'm supporting like 5 teams currently, and each of these teams are developing 1 or 2 applications for different aspects of the business. So your career progression. So, one of my former colleagues at FUTA contacted me today, and we're talking. He said, Doc, you see, that's your role. It really makes sense. One of my friends, blah 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 blah, is there. I was just laughing. I'm bold enough to show that this is what to talk about what I'm doing. I can put it on my CV. I'm working as a product manager, as a project manager, agile project manager, scrum master, or whatever. But I can't put it on my CV that I'm working as a university lecturer, from university lecturer to industry, working as an agile coach, and from there to care. Is that progression or retrogression? I can't. I want to believe many of you are managers, you are head of department from Nigeria or from whichever country you come from, and you can't just put it on your CV that you are a carer. They were like, from team lead, from manager, from banker or whatever, business analyst or whatever, and to carer, But you can boldly say that I'm a project manager, I'm a product owner, I'm a this, I'm a that with these roles. So I want to believe this will definitely, help. Is a career progression, it's not retrogression. To the next slide, please.
Okay, Doctor, the next slide is the attestation. So I will take it from here. But before I do, let me make a few additions to some of the things Doctor said. Doctor mentioned a place where he worked. Coincidentally, we worked in the same place. We were privileged to work with Jaguar Land Rover. That is the organization I didn't want to mention. And why I decided to mention that we both work at Jaguar Land Rover is this. In our department alone, not the whole organization, in our departments alone, they had over 70 teams. Yeah. And those 70 teams, each one of them need a Scrum Master and a product owner. Scrum Masters had 2 teams each. So in that department, we had spaces for over 35 Scrum Masters. So we can begin to imagine some of those large organizations, how they are structured. They are structured in such a way that they want to deliver a value. They now build smaller teams around each of the features of the value. Talk of the large organization, the biggest organization, Amazon, Netflix, Microsoft, Apple, all of them, they are all working in Agile because all is about customer centricity. So they now built smaller teams delivering pieces of value. So while we were there, it was a lot of Scrum Masters that we could engage in. In addition to what Doctor said also, I'm privileged to be working, we've left Jaguar Land Rover. We needed to travel to Jaguar Land Rover twice in a week then, but we were traveling once in 2 months. But now I'm privileged to be working fully remote. There was a time that I had 2 jobs. I needed to stop one. And I tell you, when we look at some of these organizations, we have lots of Indians there. Nigerians need to transit into these spaces. There are a lot of good jobs out there for us. Doctor has said a good number of things, so I wouldn't want to take so much time. Oga Napoleon, are you on the call?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So we scheduled 3 of our folks to talk briefly, so that they can share some with you how our programs go. Then you can now go on from there. Over to you.
Is it to me, Doc?
No, to you, Oganapo.
Oh, okay. Let me turn on my camera so that most of you see my face. Can you see me now?
Yes, we can see you. At
So
least
good evening, everyone. My name is Napoleon, and firstly, I've had the privilege of knowing Mr. Anu since 2021, also Dr. Charles too. And this is how both of them, they've been the ones that I would say God used to put me in the right path. As usual, everybody wants to leave Nigeria and, get a better life for ourselves and our kids. And for most of us, we've achieved a lot in Nigeria. And when you arrive here in the UK, it's obvious you still want to continue with that same trend, not remain at the starting point, more or less like you're starting from the beginning. So I was privileged to have done a training where Mr. Anu was the one-on-one coach that made me see the lights, let me put it that way. And this is how it happened. After doing my Agile training, which was basically 2 weekends from somewhere, and a lot of stuff was packed to me to, digest on my own. Mind you, this is a new territory for me. I've never done anything that has to do with Agile before. But the fact that Mr. Anu was the one that points me towards the direction, I went back to him and said, Oga, this thing is blowing off my head. How do I go from it? The long story short is, by his tutelage and mentoring, we had a lot of one-on-ones together. It's raining. I'm going to his house. I'm privileged to stay in the same location with him, so which was a plus for me. We do this one-on-one most of the nights, and we schedule, I think, 3 times a week also. It's raining. I'm heading to his house. There is snow. I'm going to his house. There is sunlight. I'm going to his house. What this yielded in a couple of weeks was me being my first job. Please take notes, not my second job, as a senior delivery manager, as an Agile senior delivery manager. I've never done this before. All of you should take notes. So that was my first job, not second job or third job, So my first job I got was as a senior delivery manager. I had the opportunity to interview for even a junior role, which I didn't actually get, and I was extremely pissed. But he told me, if you give up, now you lose. The summary of it is, I wanted to be where I know I'm comfortable and I could confidently hit my chest and say, yes, I'm doing something I'm extremely glad with, and I don't feel concerned that I'm just way below the ladder, and I'm thinking of how many years will it take me to get to where I think I need to get to. One belief I've always told most people is, once you cross 30 and you're traveling outside of Nigeria, you're traveling as an old man. But that does not stop you from achieving what you want to achieve. So that this is where becoming an Agile practitioner, either a Scrum Master, a delivery manager, or even a product owner, this is what gives you the step to get to where you need to get to on time, And I've had the opportunity to tell a lot of my friends who are still in Nigeria, better still, that felt, I'll mind you guys, I was an architect in Nigeria, registered in Nigeria, practicing, have a very good and interesting practice that is thriving. But however, it was more or less like I saw ahead that the insecurity and the stupidity of our leaders in our country is not going to get better. So I left when it was easy for me to leave and have a rest of mind. So when I talk with most of my friends and told them that this is how I'm doing, they keep thinking it's like magic. It is not magic. Once you make up your mind that this is what I want to achieve, my brothers and my sisters, you will get there. It is not difficult. Just put your mind to it and you're there already. The most important thing is, just like Dr. Charles has been clamoring since, that it is soft work. All this while, both of them, they told me that the only struggle you get is to pass an interview. After the interview, the work itself is soft. It was when I started, that was when I understood the softness of the work. When I started my work, I was having a chat with Dr. Charles. He said, "How many teams are you supporting?" I said, "Just one." He said, "Go and sleep. You are not working." And the senior delivery manager is just recently that I was the one that even requested for a second team because honestly, I was starting to think that it'd be like say I dey cheat these people. I just dey work, they collect serious money every month, and I dey support only one team, you know. So my attestation to all of this is my brothers and my sisters. So grab that juicy job that you need. It's very easy. It is very possible. Dr. Charles is a guru. Coach Anu is another guru. It was his experience, his work experience that I used in my interview to tell those people that, yes, this is the work experience I've had in agile space, and this is how I've been able to deliver value to my teams and also to my organization. So this is it for me. Thank you very much, my mentor, for giving me the opportunity to speak here today.
All right, thank you, Oga Napo. Before I let you go, your work is hybrid too, right?
Well, my work is
How many
hybrid.
times do you go to the office?
In fact, God blessed me with a line manager that said, "Go to the office whenever you feel the need to." Guys, mind you, I stay in Sunderland. My office is in Newcastle. The last time I actually went to the office was 1 month ago. And take note, the days I like to go to the office is the days I want to have one-on-one with my line manager just to make it look like, say, this guy the office. But he doesn't really care that I go to the office or not. So once again, it's soft work for me. And in all sincerity, it's extremely stress-free. I don't have to stress myself about anything I want to, do. Most of the time, my wife keeps telling me, "Oga, you dey chill. Abeg, just let me go bring our children from school," things like that, knowing fully well that I have a lot of time on my plate to do other things. And this is the good thing for you guys. Majority of the companies that you will work with, there is a department called learning and development. What that means is they can pay for you to do further courses to enhance yourself. So this is also a way for you to build more on you. When you've paid for your agile training, you've passed, you started working already, you will be privileged in those companies to tell your line manager that what is the company's structure in terms of learning and development for staff, and you can actually make that situation. As I speak to you right now, I've already registered for about 2 courses that cost my organization roughly about £5,000. They are the ones paying, not from my pocket. My line manager told me per annum, the staff is entitled to £10,000 in training. This is money that is sitting there. If nobody uses it, they will roll it over to the next year. I said, "Oh, that was good." I signed up for 2 courses sharply because it's part of my probation period. So, and he told me there is no big deal if you're signing up for any course. Just let me know and I'll give you an approval. And that is it.
Okay, thank you very much. I will not want to speak so much about your journey. You used to have one big boot like that.
So maybe to encourage most people is to even fine tune it down is as an architect, I was trying to work with a construction company over here because I did a lot of construction in Nigeria. And to summarize it all, they said I should start up as an assistant site supervisor, which is more like a training position. So you can imagine that I was on site every day when coding. Imagine, let me give you guys a better context. I think around January, February, you had snow dropping in the afternoon, those raw snow that were dropping. I did outside site, they check subcontractors that are doing their job. Why? the project managers and the site managers, they sit down for inside office. I was doing their job actually. The only work they did was basically paperwork, and I was just earning £13 per hour, you know. So that one alone was another much more motivation. Say, no, in Nigeria, I was the Oga controlling everybody on the site, you know, and I was collecting the money in millions, not in £13 per hour. So I can't continue like this. So this is another extra motivation for me to ensure that I take what I was learning from my agile mentors seriously, so that I'll be able to move forward in life.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Oganapo. All right. I would ask Abimbola to talk. Abimbola, she's currently in the training. But before she talks, let me quickly add this. It breaks my heart when I look around and I realize that particularly to those in the UK, that this system is just breeding highly educated care workers and highly educated factory workers. A friend was with us yesterday, and we discussed in that direction. Imagine when you have masters and you are now a carer or you are working in a factory. So they are now having highly educated factory workers. Guys, we can do better. Really, we can do better. If I tell you how my day is, I tell you, it's just one of the most beautiful things that you could have. You have that peace of mind. Apart from the fact that you would not have any financial trouble or struggle or challenge again. I can say that for a fact. You know, I can say that for a fact. When at the end of each month, I've been at work for a long time now, and I do not need to go for leave at all, because every day is as leave to me. Every single day is just as I'm on leave. All right, Abimbola.
Sleeping 2 hours a day.
Abimbola, please. Why I really picked Abimbola out of others is because when Abimbola started training in July, when she was on this call, she asked some specific questions, you know, and I really want to. Okay, Abimbola, over to you, please.
Thank you, Coach. Good evening, everyone. My name is Abimbola Abdul. I signed up for the Scrum Master course in July of this year. And I remember when my batch was having this same program overview, I asked Coach and the rest of the facilitators that, are they sure that they are going to stand by their words and teach us everything we need to know? Is it that after the end of this 1 month training, we are going to be running after them, looking for them? Are they going to help us through and through? And on that day, it was actually Mr. Kelly that answered that question first. And he said that he's going to be telling me a big lie if he says that if I finish this training today, I'll get a job tomorrow. That's going to be a big lie. But what he can assure me of is that they are going to be there with us, holding our hands, showing us the rope, giving us the support and guidance that we need till we get a job. And even on the job, they are still going to be accessible. And I can attest to that statement that Coach and every other person, they have surpassed my expectations. So I'm going to start from the theory aspect. So we normally have trainings 3 days a week. And then every Sunday, we have a review where doctor comes in and asks us questions on what we had learned that previous week. And it was a very intensive one. My first degree is law, so I had -0 knowledge of Agile. I did not know anything about Agile. But I mean, coach is, sometimes I wonder that, is there more to it? Why is this man so committed, so dedicated? Because they gave us hands-on during the theory. And doctor will come, and I used to be scared of doctor every Sunday. That what is this man going to ask again now? This man is going to come and start asking questions I did not prepare for. But right now, if you like, doctor, ask me Scrum or ask me Kanban or anything. I'm more confident. Being a novice, where I started from, I'm more confident. And then moving on to the theory aspect. So in July batch, we were broken into 2 different groups. So we ran 4 sprints. And then practical, sorry, for our practical. So during that practical, we ran sprints every week. And then coach will come for our daily sprints. And sometimes, because my group, our day starts at 9 p.m., that's when everybody in my group is available. Coach will join us sometimes from, say, 9:30, and we can run that meeting into almost 12 a.m. And he will be there with us. Like the commitment for me is I cannot over talk about that commitment that we have from coach. I am rest assured that I always have coach if I have any problem. I'm still learning. I'm not done. I'm still trying to get a job. But I can attest to the fact that every penny anyone decides to spend on this training is worth it. It is worth it. It's a step in the right direction. And I'm not going to say it was easy. It is not easy. It's not. There are many times when even me, I'll not show up for meetings because I'm a wife. I have 2 kids. I'm an employee in the healthcare sector. I'm a student. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a trainee again. So it's sometimes overwhelming. But when I remember the fact that this, my training, is a ticket for me out of this, my long 12-hour shifts with backache and sore feet, I'm like, and I want to be a millionaire in pounds too, like coach and doctor and Mr. Kelly and Oganapo and all of them. So that pushes me that, no, I must get this job. But on a final note, I'm just going to say this on a final note, that one thing I have learned during this training is Toyota has 13 pillars of production.
Wow.
and one of those 13 pillars is called the Konyaku stone. What they use that Konyaku stone to do is they use it to remove imperfections. They use it to refine the body of panels before they go for painting. So I'm going to tell everyone on this call right now that this training is the Konyaku stone you need in your life to refine you, to rebrand you, to transform you, to give you that growth mindset. And it's a step in the right direction. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you so much, Abimbola. Okay, let me say that what I've said in the classes, she's one of my favorite trainees. Sorry, other trainees, if you are here. And one of the reasons is that she has put in so much commitment. And when she was asking that, what is in it for me? I tell you, I have worked in large organizations, and I know how some of those things are. I've worked with Jaguar Land Rover, I've worked with Vanguard, I've worked with all states. And there are a lot of teams. And I know the capacity Nigerians have. We are better than where we are. And I tell you, it breaks my heart literally. These 2 roles, Scrum Master and Product Owner, they are in the project management portfolio. So you are in the project management sphere. And most of it is what you have done back home. Most of it is what you can actually do. So it literally breaks my heart when we are stuck with what we are better off. And I tell you, where we are stuck is getting filled up by the day, again and again, again and again. There are a lot of people coming in. And I've interacted with a lot of Indians. Doctor and I were still talking about it last week. Some of those Indians, they don't know Jack. I tell you, they do not know Jack. So we are far better off. and really, where I trained some years ago, I have not returned for the first time to even say, my trainer, I'll take 1,000 pounds or $1,000 for to have trained me. So that is not what I'm expecting. But my life had been better. My life had been better, and I cannot. Let me just keep it at that. The last person before we quickly move on, then round off. Akinola, are you on the call, please? Akinola also is currently training, but is one of the very zealous persons, and is really gunning for a job soon. And I'm quite optimistic that that job will come true for you very soon. He has put in a lot of commitment also. Akinola, over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Coach. Good evening, everybody. My name is Akinola Akitayo. Well, I don't want to say too much. I'll just say very brief things. This is the case for me. I'm a very optimistic person, and I believe whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. Now, this training, people might think, okay, maybe they're bamboozling you or anything. I've heard about this training before I even came to coach. The first place I wanted to do it, they were asking for a 6,000 pound for the training. I was like, no, where will I get 6,000 pounds? I'm a student in the UK, and I'm just completing my second master's. And I've been working as healthcare assistant. And then from there, I moved to healthcare support worker. From there, I moved to senior. I applied for a lot of NHS jobs. They say I'm overqualified. I removed one master, removed second master. They still say I'm overqualified. I've changed CV. I have more than 5 CVs. And struggling all of these things. And then finally, I don't even know. I can't remember. I think I was scrolling to doing something on YouTube, and suddenly Erutex advert pop up, and I was like, which one is this one now? The next time I pick up phone and I called coach, and he picked. I was even surprised because I was wondering how come that the person that is doing training, does he have that much free time? He picked, and we had this almost 40 minutes chat. And I started the training. But this is what I'll say, guys, on a serious note, is how much you put into it, you get out of. Is how much you put into it to get out of it. He has put so much into us during like my own tenure or whatever it's called. He has put in so much, but it is now left to us what he has given to us. Example now, some like when they asked that, okay, how many of us want to start doing the interview prep? Me, I just said, okay, anyhow, you better I face the fire now. So before I face the other fire. So I just went for it, and I saw my level. But this is what I will say. There's no way I want to continue at this stage of my life. There's no way I want to continue to be an healthcare assistant or healthcare support worker. I've applied for band 4 jobs, NHS. They will do interview finish. They will tell me story. It's just few points. Something that I know that I'm even qualified more than the manager that is interviewing me. So I would just like to say that on a serious note, if you want to run away from all this poverty, me, I'm tired of the poverty. It's too much. We can't grow up from Nigeria and I grow up from farm. Come and do masters here, do masters 1, do masters 2, and then we continue to do factory job, NHS job. No, now. So guys, I really just want to encourage you. As much as you might want to get out of whatever situation you are right now, this is a way out. Like coach said, that he's very optimistic. As in, on a serious note, I'm superly optimistic. This month, coach, Oganapo, doctor, yeah, there. In fact, I've not seen Kelly because Kelly is the one that first chuku me all over. I need all of you. I need all of you, coach. And I will use this opportunity to say thank you to our coaches and our mentors. They have been really wonderful. Thank you very much, and thank you for keeping to all the promises. I know that the money we are paying is not as much as a lot of people will pay, or as much as other trainers and coaches collect, but we want to appreciate what you've done for us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So we won't take so much of your time. So we'll continue from where Dr. stopped. Then those attestations, we will take questions afterwards. Some of the questions you may be asking now could be part of the few more slides that we have. So afterwards, we can now go further from there. All right, so what do you stand to gain? The program is designed in such a way that when we started, it was meant to be just a 1-month training. Again, when I did my own training that time, it was information overload. And coming from a new terrain, well, I have some background in IT, but that notwithstanding. So the training is designed in such a way that it's a 1-month intensive training. That first 1 month is for the academics, is for the theories, so that you would understand what you have, what you need to, what you go into. I know some persons may be on this call that are done certification tests by themselves. I'm not meant to say this, but I will say this so that you would know. If you've done certification tests by yourself, you need to do a lot of effort to get a Scrum job, because the certification exam will not only get the job for you. Some of the roles that you would see, they would write there, a certification is an added advantage. So there are so many roles that they do not even need your certification. It is where we have come from in Nigeria that we carry certificates on our head. Here, it is the experience you have, what you know, what you can demonstrate. And those two things. They need you in an interview. The experience you have and what you can demonstrate. Okay, Oganafo, now that you are raising your hand.
Yeah, the reason I'm raising my hand is because of the qualification thing you talked about. I forgot to actually add this. Everyone, when I was interviewed for a senior role, I repeat, no one asked me if you have a first degree or second degree or you are certified as a delivery manager. No, no one asked me. All they wanted to hear is they ask you the questions and you were able to respond and show that you have the experience and you'll be able to deliver that value. Till tomorrow, when I was doing my documentation, no one asked me that supply us your first degree or your second degree. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for chipping that in. Yes, it depends too. Someone just dropped that it depends. He has just shared his own experience. Okay, now for those who had possibly done certification themselves, it's either you prepare very well for interviews, or I can't really guarantee that you can scale through an interview, because certification alone will not do it. You need to demonstrate knowledge. You need to have hands-on. There are a lot of questions hands-on that if they ask you, they would know if you know it or not. Someone is talking about delivery, failure and delivery deadline, and you're looking at it, they would know. When you've done it, you've done it. So the program is designed in such a way that the first 1 month now is an intensive academics, where we'll go through the nitty-gritty, what makes Scrum. It will surprise you that the Scrum guide itself is just a 3-page document. But there is more to it behind that 3-page document. So those are those things that will break down into letters, into syllables that you can digest, that you can understand. There are some persons currently in class today, but for the sake of time, I didn't want to call them up. So that's how the first month goes. Now, the second month is fully practical. I tell you, from A to Z, it's fully practical. I think one of the things Abimbola didn't mention is that at last, now you go run when you face practicals. Because it's full-fledged practical. You will be exposed to lot of those tools that you need on the job. You will do them yourself, right? But we will be there to support. We will watch you. We would be in all the conversation. Akinola was saying that when he called me, that we were on the phone for about 40-something minutes, and I'm at job. That's the nature of the job. You could actually call me anytime. If I do not pick, I will call you back. If I do not pick, it means it's a meeting that I'm the one facilitating. If it's not a meeting that I'm the one facilitating, I can pick it. And that is how soft that job is. Really, that is how soft that job is. So you'll be exposed to those hands-on. This is not one of those trainings that it will be virtual. No, you will do them yourself. And it will be detailed. And while you are doing it, we are sharing experiences with you so that you can use those experiences as your own experiences. You can relate from them. What makes them? We will talk about them. We would expand on them so that you would understand them. You'll now be able to relate that to some of the things you have done in the past, even for yourself. Back home in Nigeria, some of those things you have done again and again. Then after that, you would have access to our digital resources also. For your own learning, we have lots of ebooks that you have access to. Beyond just Scrum, there are other frameworks. There's Kanban, there's Lean, there's Extreme Programming, there's Crystal. On the scaled level, there is Scrum at Scale, there is SAFe, that useless SAFe. There is SAFe, there is Nexus, and all those things. But what you need in all those other ones are what we call the best practices. So those are some of those things you would have access also to, lots of books that you can read. If you are okay with whatever job you're doing now, by all means, enjoy it. But if you can assure yourself that you will be okay in that job for another 10 years, really, okay? Then when it comes to your resume, the batch, July batch, we are going through their resume now. And some of them, they've written some very beautiful nonsense that we call that we call resume. Akinola's resume, he said he has about five different resumes. The ones he had prepared for his Scrum is a total beautiful nonsense, you know. So we're looking at that too, and we'll break it down so that you can know how to prepare your resumes adequately. Now, when you write a certification yourself and you have a good CV, and you know the techniques of applying for jobs, a good CV can get an interview slot for you. The next question is, how will you deliver in an interview? That's the next thing, right? So we would look at your CV and support you with your CV. We would go through the CV with you. You would be able to redevelop the CV. We will now look at it again, but at the same time, we will now tutor you how to adjust your CVs yourself. So when you need to make some adjustment to your CV, you'll be able to do that for yourself too. And also in every interview you have, we are still supporting you. Then for job applications, there are lots of things about jobs that you need to know. So we'll be supporting on that, the different roles you can apply for. Then when it comes to interview is the big thing. I tell you, who mentioned it? Oganapo mentioned it. The effort you will put into getting the job is like times 30 the work you will do when you get the job. But I tell you, they are highly good pay grades. You know, one of our friends, doctor, was it last year that got a job in London, 90,000 per annum job as a Scrum Master. Beautiful job, you know. So those are those things. Doctor, right?
Yeah.
And those are those kind of jobs. Yes, you may not jump today and get to 90K jobs, there are still 50-something jobs. Those are the benchmarks, really. 50-something jobs are the best at the minimum. At an average, there are 60-something jobs at an average. Most organizations will pay 60, 62, 64. You know, imagine Jaguar Land Rover having lots of Scrum Masters, and that is the average. You will see 60, maybe sometimes 55, from 55 to there about 68. You know, and that's the pay grade. So we prepare you for interviews too.
I think it's
very well.
I think it's 72, not 68. But that's
62, Abi.
72.
72. That's Group Scrum Master now, right?
Yeah,
that's Group Scrum Master. Okay,
and
so
that comes with a car, Jeep.
Yes, it comes with an SUV now, Doctor. Doctor, we should go back to Jaguar Land Rover to collect their SUV. So we'll prepare you for interviews too. Then we will support you with your certification test. This package is packaged with certification too. Again, our people from back home, we have certificates we carried on our head. So the program you are doing comes with certificate. There are lots of, on our digital resources, you will do practices on those certificate tests. Then you sit for your certificate. Then you have your certification too. Then when you get the job, we are just there with you. One of the folks that we coach in US, a lady, she got a job 2 months ago, thereabouts, a new job, and that job was $145,000 per annum. Even me, I said, I'm not getting job $145,000 per annum. Then she put across to me. It was a new job. Then we needed to do, okay, what are those things that you need to prepare for? Someone called me today now, and I said, I have about 30 questions that you would, your first week of resuming, by the time you begin to ask them those 30 questions, they'll look at you, this person is experienced. So those are some of those things. And because the job is soft too, anybody could ask you, Napoleon, what is the solution for this? I'm like, please, can you give me some minute? Let me just look at it so that I can come up with the best solutions for you. Then you put a call across. Then we have a community of practice too that you would join. So you can always chat there, and anybody on the floor would always be there to support you. So that is what the program or the design of our training is, both for Scrum Master and Product Owner. Let me quickly say this. If you train as a Scrum Master alone, you are okay, but you are not sound. I always say that a Scrum Master that needs to be sound should take a Product Owner training also. And why? The Scrum Master is the epitome of Scrum. You are the alpha and omega of Scrum. You are to guide the Product Owner. You are to correct the product. You are to support the Product Owner, coach the Product Owner. So when you are not trained as a Product Owner, you may not be able to know essentially how to support the Product Owner. Then the addition it gives you also when you are trained in both is that when you introduce yourself in an interview, like I do, I will say I'm a certified Scrum Master and a certified Product Owner. So they're having twice for the price of one. So you'll be able to market yourself and sell yourself better as being certified in both, trained and certified in both. So that's why we've put together the two roles together. We train for business analysts also, but we are now revamping our curriculum. So we're upgrading our curriculum on that. That is why we've not added the business analyst role to this particular training. All right, so where do we go from here? You could enroll in the September batch. September batch should commence next week. The August batch, they are finishing their theory class this week. So when they finish their theory class, they roll over to the practical. And all things being equal, the September class should start next week. Then the program cost 1,500, certification included. And for both Scrum Master and Scrum Master and Product Owner. Thank God, Akinola mentioned that somebody trains for 6,000. I know a guy in the UK that trains for Scrum Master role alone for £3,000, and it does not come with certification. £3,000 and does not come with certification. I've even spoken with him myself. So then also, now we give a discount. We give a 10% discount for those who want to enroll in the next 5 days. Before now, this discount used to be 20%, but deliberately we've made it a 10%, and we've pushed the other 10% to a referral bonus. So for those in and joining, you could also refer and have a 10%. I know Abimbola is doing that. So possibly by the time you would have referred 10 persons, you'd have had your money back. Where I trained, at least I think I referred about 12 persons. I know doctor referred over 25 persons back in the years then, you know. So what's more, then you can always contact us. So those are all those details that you need to know for now. Then we can go over to questions. I don't want us to stay so long again, so I want to hasten up. We have some questions on the chat. I would read them so we can go through them quickly. I'm trying to scroll through now. I joined in late. Please, what's this webinar about? That's James. It's about Scrum Master and Agile. Okay, okay, somebody has already answered. Thank you. Thank you for the prompt response. When is the next batch? The next batch is September, just as I've mentioned. And it cost £1,500 for both training plus certification. If you pay within 5 days, you have a 10% discount. We use Klarna also. Klarna is a financial, we are a merchant to Klarna. Klarna is a financial institution that allows for 3 installments. Oh, thank God I remember that. We have instrumental payment plan also. What battered that is because this is beyond just doing this for money for us. You've had some of those who spoke. Nigerians, we are better off. We should be in better places. And I can tell you, most of us who've paid £16,000 to higher institution. And when we finish, we become highly educated carer with our masters. We are changing diapers. Okay, pardon me, sorry. So now, so if this is what would transit you from where you are to where you're going, I tell you, it's worth it. We've had Abimbola mention that. So this goes beyond just doing this for money. I mentioned earlier that we work with a lot of Indians, Pakistanis. In Jaguar Land Rover, for instance, the Indians, they are bringing in their folks. Because again, Tata bought over Jaguar Land Rover. Tata is an Indian company. So they are bringing in their folks. So Nigerians need to wake up to such professions. And every organization has gone agile now. At least about 80% of major organizations, they are running agile. So we make it flexible so that those who want to take advantage of it can do. So we have a payment plan. Klarna does 3-month installment. We do 3-month installment also. If you want to do direct payments, 3 months, of course, that tells us that we are not running anywhere for those who could be skeptical about it. So we allow for 3-month installments. If you feel paying in 3 months could be a challenge to you, please reach out to me. We may be able to work around something that could be more flexible for you. but our payments plan is 3 installments too. Okay, I would like to know if Scrum Master, Agile, and associated jobs are actually in demand in the UK compared to other jobs. I think I've mentioned that largely. It's in demand. It is how far you can see. Where I'd worked, there are lots of teams there, and each team has a Scrum Master and product owner. A team comprises of 5 to 10 or 5 to 9 members. So imagine Vanguard UK alone has over 4,000 staff in UK, covering Europe. Vanguard, go and check online. Vanguard is one of the biggest investment companies in the world, one of the biggest. In UK alone, they have over 4,000 staff covering Europe. All those 4,000 staff, they belong to a team. And most of those teams, not all of them, most of them require a Scrum Master and product owner. So that informs us some of the demands that are there. But again, it's how far you could see that you could, how far your eyes can take you. I actually checked LinkedIn and other job sites. It appears demand for job is lower than others like business data analyst, data science, and the likes. Okay, all right. I think Dr. responded to that. Can a student get an Agile Scrum Master job on student visa?
Yeah, on that one, the sincere answer is, is no, because of the nature of this country, and that is the truth. Once they hear your student visa, all these employers, they don't want to, they know the penalty if government is, so they don't want to go there at all. So what I can advise is you can get trained, certified, and as soon as you are getting to the end of your
Dr. has answered all the questions.
You can start submitting your application. But if you get certified now, you are still a student. It may be very, very difficult for you to get a job. Okay. You may even get interview. As a matter of fact, some of them will call you and ask, what is your visa
status? Yeah.
And one thing as well that maybe we didn't mention all through, up to today, I and the coach, we still attend many interviews. And it's not because of ourselves, just for us to get the latest questions. I think for the past few weeks now, I've done a couple of interviews just for me to get new questions. And just to, because things keep changing and we want to ensure that what we are giving to you is the right thing. There was a time when they were asking, tell us Agile Manifesto, Agile Principles, gone are the days. Now nobody will ask you that. If you are in an interview and they ask you that question, just know that you didn't have. So they just believe, what did this one know? We've asked you all the questions, you don't know anything. Let's just ask you the basic one. So no, we today we still attend. It's just get the latest questions. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, it seems Doctor had answered virtually all the questions. If there is any question that had not been answered, please, you could signify so we could ask directly, so we won't keep ourselves.
I think the last question, I didn't respond to the last question, please.
Okay, can someone get a virtual job anywhere in the world? Yes. Some of our folks, and Dr. Derek got a job from Denmark, right? Derek from Denmark, yeah. So yes, you can get a job from anywhere. The challenge would only be if that organization is not so much keen on your job status, on your visa status. There are some organizations that may not pay as much as US, Canada, Australia, where again, UK, UK actually pays the least in these 4 countries. They may not pay as much, but could be more comfortable for you. In the last 2 weeks, we even found out that there are Scrum Master roles, even in Nigeria now. Even in Nigeria now, there are Scrum Master roles.
Owen got job. Okay, he got job in Netherlands.
Yeah.
As for Scrum Master position.
Yeah. So you can get job virtually from anywhere in the world. When will business analysts come on board? Please let's look at October. Just as I mentioned, we are redesigning the curriculum for that. Yes, it appears this fall within project management. I mentioned that earlier. It's agile project management. That's the first academic side that we'll go through. It's in the project management portfolio, but the agile of it. What is not agile is waterfall, right? And about 80% of organizations have transitioned to agile. Waterfall is still in use. Waterfall is not that waterfall is dead, no. But most organizations, for the purpose of the waterfall, most of them have moved to. Yes, Anoluwapo. You can mute yourself. Hello? Okay, go ahead, please.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening.
Thank you. I asked the question earlier on the chat, and the question is, I haven't checked some of this job because I had to check if it's really in demand.
Okay.
I discovered that it's quite in demand in almost all the cities, but most of the time they will, in part of their roles, what they need, and for their clearance, eventually if you get the job, they ask for DV clearance, SC clearance, something like that. You must stay in UK with for 10 years. For someone like us that just migrated within a year, what's your take about it? Because that's one thing that like gives me headache. Okay.
Quickly, not most roles, not most jobs ask for that. Oganapo has not been here for 10 years. We have been in and out, not up to 10 years, right? And we've been working. Do you get? So,
okay.
Not most roles. Even for me, when I'm still applying, I just keep those security, whatever. I may not even put in for them. But you will see lots of other roles. Now, the beautiful thing about it, you heard when Oganapo was talking, he said he trained as a Scrum Master. His role is a senior delivery manager. Even me, I'm not senior. His role is a senior delivery manager. So anytime you look at any job role, job description in agile space, what you should check for is the roles, is the, what do we call it? Job description itself. If those job description fit into what you want, then you can apply for it. But again, there are just a few percentage of those that are asking for security. Those that are asking for it is because of sensitive information.
Oh, okay.
This is how the structure is. A big chunk of project is broken into smaller pieces, and they have developers working on them. In Jaguar Land Rover, the department we work with design engineers. In other places, they are software developers. So they now broke them into smaller pieces, and for you to push that process through, they now have Scrum Master and product owners working with them. The Scrum Master and product owners are not necessarily developers. So you are now facilitating their work. So when the work has nothing to do with sensitive information, they don't need the clearance for it.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Then the other question I ask is, if you are to pay in 3 months installment, do we still enjoy the benefit of the 10% discount?
Yes, if you if you commence within that 5 days that the next batch is starting, then yes, you enjoy that 10%.
Thank you. And last one, when exact date? What's the exact date? Is starting in September?
It should be next week. I don't want to give a date yet. It's maybe
Okay.
one day next week, because
Okay.
we run 3 sessions in a week. Now we run 3 sessions in a week and 2 sessions weekend. So
Okay.
for those who could not make weekdays, they could join weekends. Whatever we do during the weekdays is what we repeat at the weekend. So
Oh, okay.
we even have some students, they join both weekdays and weekend. One of them is Oladipo. He joins weekdays, and at weekends he joins again. So that is just to reinforce the knowledge.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you
right.
so much. That's all.
One last thing, please. Is your name Anu Oluwapo?
My name is Temitope.
Okay, because it's brought Anu Oluwapo, and I'm wondering.
Oh, really? Maybe I had to change something. Is Temitope, please?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Samuel, and I think this is by far one of the best trainings I've ever attended ever since I moved to the United Kingdom. I've been seeing a lot of advice on Scrum Masters on Instagram, and it looked like a new terrain entirely. But I must say, joining this training has really, really brightened my knowledge and horizon about what it is. And I tell you, the coaches, you have done a very good job, fabulous job. And I think this is what we should be doing here in the United Kingdom. So I have 1 or 2 questions. And the first one is, for this role, of course, going through these trainings, how long will the training last? I know you mentioned about the theory and the practical, 1 month each. So should we say the training only lasts for 2 months? That is one. Then secondly, for these roles, after going through this training and okay, we are confident, we're certified, we start looking for the job. God so doing, we get the job or we land the role. These companies, do they also offer visa sponsorship? That is the second question. So if you can attend to that. Yeah.
Okay, let me start from the second. Do you mean the companies you get the job, right?
Yes, the company will get a job. For example, the Land Rover, Jaguar Land Rover, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Some offer, some do not. Jaguar Land Rover offers. Jaguar Land Rover even asks. Even when you tell them that you don't need, they want to offer you so that they can be sure that you are with them, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Most do not. Honestly, most do not. One of our folks, we supported too, got a job with a doctor. Where did Sam get a job again?
NHS. I started delivering it.
NHS, and it came with sponsorship. But again, clearly, most do not, right?
Okay.
But for me, it's this. If an organization is paying you so much, right? Don't let me mention. When an organization is paying so much, sometimes you don't want to care about the sponsorship. Seriously, yes. Because you can pay for anything. If you want to do post-study, you have sufficient money to pay. You can decide, and again, this is it now. The training is your certificate is a global certificate. It's not a UK certificate. It's a global certificate. So you could work anywhere. So imagine you work in a place and they pay you well enough. After task, I've seen Okay. Again, I do not want to mention money, but you are able to save so much. You can even decide to relocate your family to somewhere else.
Okay.
Right? So again, some organizations offer sponsorship. Most of them would not. And why most of them do not is because they want to see that you can deliver first before they now say they want to offer you. An organization that pays you 70K, 65K, they have capacity more than sufficient to offer sponsorship. But they will tell you that we are not offering sponsorship.
Okay.
Because they want to be sure of what you can deliver when you join them first. When you add value to them, some of them will now say, yes, we can give you sponsorship.
Okay.
Dr. Phil, they've been begging him for sponsorship for God knows when. He just said that he doesn't want it. You know.
Okay.
So, but again, even if they don't offer sponsorship, you are good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's answer that. Then the first question you asked.
Sorry, I think that is just a fact. No company except for the like of NHS, that will just give you straight sponsorship. If you apply for, if you really want sponsorship, the one that comes with sponsorship straight away, then focus on NHS. They do that.
Yeah.
But other companies, because NHS doesn't pay much.
Yeah.
Even if you are the principal agile coach, the highest NHS we pay you is maybe 45,000. Oh, okay. NHS 45,000, 40,000. So that's for NHS because they didn't pay much, But you can't come to organizations like Sky, like Vanguard, JLR, that they want to pay you 70,000. They want to check if you are competent.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, I have a friend who we trained as well, Jerry. He's working as Agile Performance Lead at William Hill. Yeah. So he's working with them, but that advert, they said no sponsorship.
Okay.
But usually sponsor. So after 6 months, now I think he has spent a year in William Hill, and now they were like, oh, okay, they're ready to sponsor you. They said from February she should submit our papers again that they want to sponsor him. Now he's telling me yesterday that he didn't want their sponsor. He wants our wife to get sponsorship somewhere.
Exactly, because he's doing 2 jobs.
Because he's doing 2 jobs.
Exactly.
So he doesn't want their sponsorship again. He said he wants the wife to get sponsorship somewhere. He will still be free to pick job. Because once you get sponsorship from a company, you must not work more than 20 hours with another organization.
Okay. Yes.
So because of that, like the likes of me will not look at sponsorship, So that is just it. But many of them will tell you they don't offer sponsorship, but they have the capacity to do it. Once you satisfy them in the first 3-6 months, they're good to go. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right. Hello. Hello.
Yes. The first question is the trainees. You mentioned that the theory is 1 month and the practical 1 month. So does it end there? So are we saying this training only covers for 2 months? Yeah.
Okay. Now, like the current batch, they are very lazy.
Okay.
Actually, they are here. Some of them are here. I've told them they are done with practical now. Then there's a new plan that we developed for them. Pair yourselves into 2, and there's a new learning path to expand your knowledge in other frameworks. And we'll now be breaking down those things that we've learned also, and be talking about each road, each challenge, and bring the experience around it to you. I tell you, for 1 week now, none of them, they've even sent in their peers. So, to answer directly, the training is 1 month academics, 1 month practical. But after your practical, we do not leave you out dry. so
Okay.
that the team will not be lost. And that's why we said, even when you get the job, we are still supporting you. So every member would be joining we have a Sunday evening session. Abimbola mentioned that. Then in the course of the week, you have a learning path that you'll be going through. Then you'll be catching up with the coaches also. So I do not want to say that it extends more than 2 months. In practical, it does. But the first month is for academics. The second month is for the practical.
Yeah.
Mind you, there are other frameworks that you need to know their best practices. I don't know if you listen to Abimbola when she was talking about Toyota production system, talking about the pillars in Toyota production system. 12
yes.
13. Toyota production system deals with agile lean. That is another framework. So from my experience now, she has been exposed to other frameworks also. And when you are relating on interview, you are bringing wealth of knowledge across board, right? From Scrum, from Kanban, from extreme programming, from Lean, essentially. So that is positioning you better. And I say, we do not train people for starters. We are not preparing you to go for starters. We are preparing you to go and compete favorably. We are equipping you with the right knowledge. You heard when Morgan Apo was talking. He said in his interview, he used some of the experiences we shared with him as his own experiences. So we are not training you for you are new to Scrum. No. By the time you are thoroughly dealt with, quote and unquote, because you will be thoroughly dealt with, right? You would emerge as a leader in Scrum. When Abimbola was saying that she was often afraid of doctors' questions. Right?
Yes.
So it's a deliberately designed program that would equip you to make you strong and prepared for the job also. But again, even when you get the job, we are still with you. I don't know. That's the question.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you. Perfectly said. Please, finally, the Klarna, which is the installment payment plan, is a good one. But I think it appears Klarna, I don't know, it's like it do not actually accept everybody on an equal level. It's like there are some requirements you need to fulfill before Klarna can allow you to pay via installment. So how do you come in to help us for people who could not qualify to use Klarna? Yes.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier when I was talking. Klarna offers you 3 months installment in 2 month installment. I think Dami is on this call. Dami is in the current class. He used Klarna. Some other folks use Klarna too, but some could not. So what we did is that, and I mentioned that you could also make direct payments.
Okay.
Installments at the end of the month, right? Then I had a caption because again, it is not directly, we are doing this directly for money, right? Yes, we need money. But if anyone has some other challenges or have some other needs that they want to spread a little more, doctor likes more money. Doctor will not agree with me. Me, I don't like doctor as much as, I don't have money as much as doctor. But we could now look at what could work for you too. We did that for Abimbola, and Abimbola had been doing very well, right? So you could make payments in 3 installments, not using Klarna, by direct debit to the company's accounts.
Okay.
Right. So periodically, after a month, then you're done. Then you're done.
Okay. Okay, please. So, sorry, I mean, I'm almost. Do you have a contact? I think this should be the final. A contact to keep in touch.
I've
for us
I shared that a couple of times to the
Okay.
group.
Yes. I think I just. Okay.
My
Okay.
phone number is there.
Okay.
For those who have also received emails from us, my phone number and our email address would be there. I want to believe some persons would have received some emails. My phone number is on the chat. I will just type it in again, except you have seen that.
I've seen that, agile@reuters.co.uk.
Yes.
Your email and your phone number.
So you could actually call me at any time. It is doctor that you may not be able to call at every time. Doctor has 5 teams that is managing.
Okay.
So you chat me on WhatsApp. You could give me a call. You could send me an SMS. You could send an email to me.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
There's
sir.
a question to that the certification part of it. Okay, doctor has answered that. Any other question we've not answered? How do I
good evening.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, okay, it's my name. And I want to thank you so much for this opportunity and for this expose as well, because particularly for a while now, I've been looking for somebody that will actually give me an insight on project management and business analysis, so that one could make an informed decision on which route to take. So, but I think this explanation this evening did that for me. So I want to thank you for that opportunity. Then one is that my question, you talked about certification. So I want to know if certification falls within the confines of that training, or is it that after the training, then one will have to write an exam for the certification? And which institution is giving the certification? Is it your own institution? And if yes, how recognized is the certificate? That's one.
Yeah.
Then two, you talked about the training, being challenging, sort of. So I just feel that, or I want to ask, would there be any form of physical arrangement in terms of the training, especially when it borders on practical, or is everything online? And if yes, do you think that it will give us all you need? And if no, you also consider the fact that some people live far away and all of that. So what do you think the package will give us, considering that we may not be able to meet face to face and all that?
Okay. Is that okay? Thank you for that. Abimbola, are you still on the call? Okay, I think she's not. Let me start from the second question. Our classes are virtual. Our classes actually are video virtual classes. And I could be a very strict person too. So in our classes, you turn on your videos so that we can see ourselves, so that when you are sleeping, the coach will know that you are sleeping, right? Our classes are all online, except if you are in the same area as we live. Oganapo is not far from me, so you could come to my house, right? I'm in Sunderland, so peradventure you are in Sunderland, all well and good, but all our classes are virtual. However, too, all our classes, virtual classes, will give you all the information you need, all the needs you need, all the hands-on you need. When we say practical, it's actually agile practical. You would use those tools and you will really use those tools online, just as it is on the job. Now, let me quickly add this. In all the jobs that I've done as a Scrum Master, my team compositions, they are not co-located. Currently, I work fully remote. Some of my team members, some are in US, some are in India, some are in the UK here, right? So the work itself too is virtual. And I tell you, one thing about all this work that we are making noise about, all your work is meeting, nothing more. All your work, pata is meeting. You are only doing meeting as your work. But from the angle of knowledge, you are solving problems, you are making sure that they can progress on their work. That is your work. So even when you get a job that you need to go to the office, you are still joining your meetings remotely in the office too. So all our trainings, they are virtual, but I can tell you, that is all you need. All the tools will be thoroughly taken with you, and you have the good understanding that you need. What was the first question, please?
About the certification, whether there will be...
Good, thank you. Now, the certificate, is a certification, it's not a certificate. Somebody explained that to me some time ago. And we do not issue that certificate. If we issue that certificate, it will be made a UK certificate because it's a UK company. But I mentioned earlier, your certification is a global certification. In actual sense, the creator of Scrum, there are two guys that created Scrum, Dr. Jeff Sutherland and Ken Schwaber. Each of them, they have certification institutes, Scrum Inc. and Scrum.org. There are other ones like Scrum Alliance, some other ones like that. So your certification is Scrum.org, which is from Ken Schwaber. So it's a global certification that you can use anywhere. Your record is online. When an organization needs to verify, they will log on to the institution and see your record there. Is that clear?
Okay. Yeah, it's clear.
And again, the certification is built into the training program. Can my brother in the UK pay for me with his credit card in the UK? Yes, he can. Any other question, please? If there are no other questions, I think we'll call it.
The last person that asked a question. You know, the virtual meetings that you'll be having is part of the training, because some of the communication, all those stuff, when you get on the job, so that you won't be one of our guys that got a job, and for weeks they were sending email to him, email Outlook. Yeah, he didn't check at all. He didn't know how to handle Outlook. And mind you, because we when we train you, and you prepare your CV, what we will be claiming is that at least you have 5 years experience. With no company, if you tell them you have 0 years experience, nobody will give you. If you tell them you have 1 year experience, they will be like, this is a paper Scrum Master. This one is not power. So if we are now claiming you have 4 years, 5 years experience, and we now give you the job, you don't know how to use Outlook, So, you know what I'm talking about. So, using the virtual meetings and also it's part of the training so that you get used to it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Any other question before we call it a date? All right.
Actually, this is not a question, but just like an insight for me, because when you look at a country like the United Kingdom is but is a country out of the the top. When you look at the top countries, the United Kingdom pay low. Is the lowest paying country, and we as individuals, as aspiring Nigerians in this new country, this country rather, the only way we can escape this minimum wage bank job is to get certified and to be an IT professional. If you are not a general practitioner, there's no way you can be on the leagues of people who can be earning at least from maybe 70K, 80K, or 100K, six-figure income in this country. And I think what you have presented to us today is more like, I wouldn't say like a gold mine, but depending on how everybody see it, because to transition into IT is not easy. It's not easy due to the fact that majority of the companies today, they know there is a huge competition. People are looking into IT so much today. It's like it's a new oil. And if we can see such a platform like this that can train us and to help us get through, I think it's a welcome development. Honestly, it's a welcome development. So I'm glad I joined this meeting today. I was actually recruited to join this meeting, but it was worth it. It was worth my time. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
All right, thank you so much. So, and in a quick addition, Doctor came from the academics. Oga Napoleon came from the construction, and they are in the agile space. So even where you'll be working with developers, coders, programmers, what you would need is what we call technical awareness, which comes to you on the job.
Okay.
You are not the one writing the codes, but you are the one supporting them so that they can work well. So that when they have problems, you are helping them to solve it. You are doing what we call TIA. People in our class, they know what we call TIA, with them, and you are ensuring that they could move ahead with their work. Now, Jaguar Land Rover makes vehicles. Also, different organizations have products and services that may not be tech. So even when you are working with the core tech, you are not a tech person. And because IT is so broad, right? When we look at clouds alone, there are three major providers in the cloud: AWS, Azure from Microsoft, then Google Cloud. Excuse me. And there are lots of others. That is for cloud alone. For programming, there are lots of platforms you do your programming. The full stack, the Java, the Ansible, and all whatnot.
Yeah.
Right? So you cannot know everything IT too. So when you get a job, you will now begin to understand what they use in that job. So an organization using Java, another organization may not be using Java.
Okay.
So the knowledge you need, the quote and unquote technical know-how you need will come to you on the job. It does not mean that you would not have an idea what the IT development cycle is, right? But those are just common knowledge too. You don't need to code, you don't need to do programming for that. You know about software development, life cycle, and all the rest. They are still basic too. You are not doing you are not the one to do the coding. Let me quickly add this. And this is why I realized for the Indians, particularly the Indians, the Pakistanis, and all the rest, they are pushing their younger generations to the coding. The older ones, They are now taking the managerial roles in agile space, project manager, scrum master, product owner, business analyst, and all the rest. So really, Nigerians should not just sit behind and be changing diapers. Again, pardon me. You know, we can emerge, we can really, really, really do this. And if others can do it again, we can do it. So you have nothing to do.
Ogami, just to let you know, if you see any car from Jaguar 2025, just know it is the team that made the door, because my 3 teams in Jaguar were only working on door, car door.
Even the suspension.
Anything about the car door, I don't know how to make car door. So I was working on car door. So tell you, the car is coming out 2025.
Yeah.
And we started it since last year.
Yeah.
So to let you know that you don't need anything to do with the software or not. You will learn everything. This D365, I've never heard of D365 until I joined the MIT. So I've never had anything like D365 and blah, blah, blah. So you don't need to, you know, when you get to the job, sincerely, those things will come naturally, you know, and it's out of your own curiosity that you even like, let me even understand what these people are even doing. You know, in Yoruba, we call it ayojuro. You just want to, let me even see what these people are doing. It's none of your problem. Your own is to like, guys, when are you going to deliver this? Guys.
But
it's good.
But it's really good to do that because.
But it's not part of your duty.
Yes, it's not part of your duty. But when you do that too, you now earn more respect from them. They now see that you care about them, and you are just joining their meeting and they are talking. You are not still the one coding. They are doing repository. You are not the one doing the merger. You are not doing you are just there with them and you are just gisting. You are just gisting with them. Like in my teams, some of you, if you go on LinkedIn, you can check my LinkedIn page. Go and check the recommendations that some of my team members wrote there. I just crack jokes with them. I just make all of them smile and happy, and you are just doing the job, you know. So it's just a job that gives you plenty peace of mind. And when you finish your meeting, your 15 minutes, you can walk around the town. And by the time you have devices that you take along, have your headpiece, even when something urgent comes up, from anywhere on the road, you can connect. They will be telling you that, oh, it's 3 p.m., you are doing school runs, Abby. Yes. It's just I don't know. I can't, well, all right.
Okay.
Other question. All right, I think that should be all for today. Thanks, everyone.
I will reach out to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming on the session. Really appreciate the time. You have my numbers, you have my email address. You can reach out to me at any time. Let me know what you want. And if you have other questions too, please reach out to me. We'll discuss about it. Thank you, and bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Good night.